This week's episode, we have more news on the new bike and tread.
And I got to interview Anne Dragovcic and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Here are your hosts, Mark O'Rourke in the UK and Amanda Siegel in the US.
Welcome to episode 5 of Pelo Buddy TV. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined by my co-host, Mark O'Rourke, who is coming to us today from exquisite Montenegro. Mark, are you there?
I'm here, Amanda, and yeah, the sun's shining. I'm not missing the UK at all, and it's great to be on this episode doing this lovely episode with you, Amanda.
Isn't it amazing, Mark, that with technology today, we can be anywhere in the world, anywhere, and continue to report on all things Peloton.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
And Mark, it's been another crazy all things Peloton week. We here at Pelo Buddy are still buzzing that we were the first to leak the news of the impending new tread. And we did so with our breaking news episode on Wednesday. Since then, we have learned that a new premium bike will also be released. Just to recap what we know, Mark, is that the new tread will be cheaper, smaller, with potentially a swivel tablet that can be easily used for floor or boot camp workouts. We're all waiting with bated breath for the formal announcements to be made by Peloton.
Yes, Amanda, Bloomberg released an article on Friday and described it as a new tread and a high-end bike with a more adjustable screen. The new treadmill will cost less than $3,000 compared to the $4,290 for the current model. The existing tread will continue to be sold as the company's high-end model and called the Tread Plus. The new bike will be a premium offering called the Bike Plus. It is likely to cost more than the existing bike, which currently stands at around $2,200. Once the new premium bike is released, then the existing bike's price will be lowered to less than $1,900 according to Bloomberg.
Wow, Mark, that's incredible, right? And what has also happened is that it now will allow the other Peloton markets the opportunity to purchase the treads, which they haven't been able to up to this time. Now, it is noted, though, that they will just have access to this new, less expensive tread, but the Canadian, Europe, and UK markets will now be able to buy the tread. Interestingly enough, though, there's been some chatter online. The Brits aren't too happy about the fact that they don't have access to the more expensive one. And I know that I've been going back and forth on some social media platforms with them being frustrated. But you know what? At least they're getting the tread now. So I think from that perspective, it's fantastic. One of the other things, Mark, that I noticed was that they're talking about having a boot camp on the on the bike. They're having a boot camp on the bike now too. And with that adjustable tablet, I think that's going to allow people to work out on the floor more, be able to do their arms and strength and training on the floor with this adjustable screen. So there are definitely some very positive aspects to what they're being offered. And I think everyone's going to be really excited about that. Tell me, Mark, I'd also heard through the Peloton grapevine that customer service were making some announcements. Do you have any idea on that?
Yeah, but before I go into that, Amanda, there was just a bit more information on the tread and the bike. The new cheaper treadmill is likely to go on sale later than the Bike Plus. Bloomberg also mentioned plans for a new product it's working on, a rower, which would not be released until next year at the earliest, which is a bit disappointing, but also we can look forward to the rower. Coincidentally, developer Jeremy Klein sent us a tip that he discovered internal Peloton product code names in the Peloton bike source code. The new tread is internally known as the Prism. It's all interesting stuff, Amanda. The new bike is known as the Titan, and the new rower, which is great, isn't it? Since it's mentioned, is known as the Mazu. The same developer also found code references to GymKit trying to interact with an Apple Watch. Further evidence pointing to the new devices having an NFC chip, which I know loads of people love, and providing better support for Apple Watches and Apple Health.
Yeah, that is incredible. And what I love about being part of the Pelo Buddy community is that we get these insider tips and we get to hear this cool stuff. So that is pretty amazing. Certainly, thank you to Jeremy Klein for sharing that information with us and us being the first to be able to report that.
Now, you alluded to customer support, so this is good,
Yes.
and this is hot stuff. This is hot
Yes,
stuff. So we've been told, or we've heard, and heard on the grapevine that Peloton customer support will lower the price of the bike or tread, and they will proactively refund the difference to all those members who are waiting for delivery, as well as those who have received their products in the preceding 30 days, which is really good of Peloton.
That really is good, because I know that there's certainly going to be frustrated folks, especially with the pandemic and having to wait for their bikes to be delivered.
Yeah, sure,
that is going to make a really good, a big difference to a lot of folks. So good for Peloton for acknowledging that and giving folks that that option. Mark, it's interesting. Here we are. We saw the volatility of the stock this past week. It soared to an all-time high of $92 on Wednesday and then dropped down Thursday. The stock closed Friday at around $80. It'll be interesting to see what happens when Peloton have their earnings call on Thursday, the 10th of September, just this coming week. I'm curious to see if they will talk about the new bike and tread, maybe before Wednesday.
Who knows? I think it would be the better option, but who knows? That's up to Peloton, isn't it? And they'll do it as they've. I'm sure it's already planned and ready to go. Also in the news this week, Peloton Health and Wellness Advisory Council. Try saying that. Was announced, and 5 renowned doctors and researchers. With Peloton will collaborate. Peloton will collaborate with this new council going forward to help inform on products and content decisions, which I think is great because it's bringing a community feel into it, and they're getting feedback from the experts. So community focused, Amanda. Research projects will also be discussed, and I think as I said, I think this will give the community a better experience going forward.
Right. We've all spoken so often about the fact that it has changed the well-being of all of us, whether it be from a mental perspective, from a physical perspective. So adding this council into their, again, with their platform, I think will give us all that, comfort feeling that everything's being done for the right reasons, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Well, last Sunday morning saw Peloton classes, the live classes, being impacted by the global internet outage and having to be cancelled. But service was restored just in time for the Ali Love 60-minute feel-good ride, which I was able to jump on, Mark. And I'm very proud to say that I hit an awesome PB. So I panicked a little bit because Sundays for me are for love, as we all know. And I was really thrilled that we got everything sorted. I know that people were frustrated in the morning when the classes were canceled, but being a global issue, there was really nothing Peloton could do. And once again, they handled it so brilliantly, popping in on-demand classes so people could still jump on and do what they needed to do at that time. But certainly from a technical perspective, there's always things going on, right, Mark?
There is, and there was some great news for Android users this week, Amanda, and they're going to be able to view their workout history. I wasn't even aware that they weren't able to do that, so that's going to be a big plus.
Unfortunately, Mark, the Android users again get the short stick with the latest feature of the Instagram story sharing. What Peloton have now allowed us to do, instead of having to screenshot our workouts and post them onto our stories, you can actually directly do it from the app. Going into the workout you've just done, you click the share button at the top, and you can now share it directly into your Instagram story. It's a really, really cool feature. What I love about it is the ability to actually see who the instructor is. And they have a live video of the instructor that you've just taken. Together with that, you're able to see output that you've done, your calories, your miles, etc. And of course, add whatever extra emojis and little bits and pieces to your story. So I know that for a lot of us iOS users, we're really excited. And I do feel bad for those Android users. Hopefully technology will catch up and they'll be able to get on board and be able to do that too. But it really has been fun. And the instructors, interestingly enough, have done a lot of sharing of our stories too. So if you tag an instructor in your story, you're pretty sure to see it on their story right after, which is kind of really cool. Let's see what else is going on. There has been some new leaderboard updates, which are quite cool. Although they do seem to be coming and going, but what we've seen is that the leaderboard tags are now highlighted in blue, and one can now view them on the summary page. What are the most popular tags that are going for that particular day? You can also see if friends join a class. That pops up on the top right-hand corner of your screen as to who's riding that day. Again, it is, from what I'm seeing, a beta testing thing. Not everybody has access to it right now, so it's popping up. It's and it's coming and going. One of the things I did notice, Mark, was that if you like to follow yourself and you want to see how much you did better in a class you did before, some folks have lost the date of when that last class was. So that's a little disappointing. And again, we'll see. Maybe it'll come back. There seems to be change constantly as to what's going on the leaderboard. But it is fun to see these different changes. Well, Mark, probably the highlight of this last week, other than, of course, the exciting news of the new tread and bike, was the merch drop. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that I think I bought out the entire store. One had to know.
Amanda, listen, can you leave some items for other members, please, around the world? Because, it's not fair.
You're right, Mark. It's not fair, but I got to look cool when we present, right? And for those folks that are able to get to watch us as opposed to listening to the podcast, you have to know, podcast people, we are constantly in our Peloton gear. But I have to say, it was an exciting day for all us, again, crazy Peloton junkies. Everybody was speculating as to when the drop was going to occur. We were timing it, whereas the UK got their drop earlier, obviously because of timing, Germany too. So we were able to go online and actually see what was going to be in the drop. What I also noticed this time was that the merchandise was pretty similar. What you found in the UK apparel store, you did see in the US store as well. So that was really fun to get to see. And we were back and forth chatting with all our Pelo friends as to what we bought and how much we bought. There were some rumors that some people had to put it on different credit cards because they were doing so much. There's only so much referral codes can buy, right, Mark?
Absolutely. And once they go, don't they, Amanda? And then, it gets a little bit more difficult. You have to pay for them yourselves, which none of us like doing, but hey ho. Amanda, this up and coming week sees the drop of yet another artist series, and it's the turn of Wycliffe Jean. And first of all, Robin gets to do a strength class on Tuesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Then Dennis will be doing a yoga class on Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then it's Alex's turn at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Finally, Chase Tucker is on the tread doing a run on Saturday at 12 noon.
Wow, that's going to be a packed week, and Wycliffe Jean is fantastic. So it'll be fun to see the instructors do yet another artist series. They've definitely been pushing a lot of these a lot lately, Mark, haven't they?
They have, and I've do you know what? I've hardly done any of them. I'm ashamed to say, but they're very popular. I mean, some more than others. I know that the weekend wasn't so as popular as the Prince one, and I love the Prince one. I know you did too.
Right. I love the Prince one, and you're quite right. Some of them haven't been as popular, but I guess maybe for ourselves and what we like and what we, kind of get drawn to. And there are others that I've seen chatter on social media that folks are ecstatic about the Wycliffe Jean series to be dropped. So that should be fun to get to see. And Mark, the Flash Challenge ended this week with the Get Up to Get Down 4-floor workouts, which pushed those of us who don't typically do strength or stretches to do it. Earning another badge is just another Pelo thing that we need to do, right? So it allowed those folks that would typically not get down to do floor workouts an opportunity to do a stretch, to do a strength, and earn a badge. Did you do any of them, Mark?
I didn't.
It's interesting though, Mark, because I have seen my strength gain significantly, having included after every ride a post-ride stretch, and even doing some of the foam rolling. Hannah Corbin has an amazing selection of foam rolling exercises. And I have to tell you, Mark, maybe that's why I'm hitting these PBs. Between that and my Theragun, I think that the stretches and strength training that Peloton offer, so many of us forget that that's part of the whole ensemble of what we're given to do. We get on that bike, we ride, but there's so much more that we can do. So I think by incorporating something like a challenge where we can, get our badge, gives folks an opportunity to try other things. So I'm really pleased that Peloton constantly push us to do that type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, I recently, only in the last 2 or 3 months, I've been doing post-ride classes, and they're so important, and I think they've helped me, certainly like yourself. You've been flying of late with your PBs. I got one PB recently, and I think that definitely helped with that. And for many months I never did post-ride rides, so it's 5 or 10 minute rides I think are great and really important for us. And lastly, for our Pelo news this week, our instructors continue to be in the spotlight. And Amanda Tunde signed with the very famous talent agency called Wasserman Media Group, who will be representing her in speaking, endorsement, and future branding opportunities.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Tunde. She has been in the news a lot lately, and it's amazing to see her getting out there and sharing how far she's come. I know we spoke about her last week with her weight loss and her strength and where she is today. So I'm so pleased that somebody has picked her up and is going to help, promote her even more. One person we all love and who has done amazing is Robin Arzon, Mark. She was listed in Fortune's 40 Under 40 for 2020. Quite an impressive achievement for the head instructor and VP of fitness programming at Peloton. Even John Foley, CEO, tweeted his congrats to Robin. So I'm sure she was really pleased with that.
Absolutely, and it's great to get Peloton into Fortune as well. Even the word Peloton is fantastic, and she's so successful, isn't she? And everyone loves Robin Arzon. And lastly, Amanda, Aditi Shah represented Peloton on the Today Show this week, demonstrating how breathing and meditation can reduce stress and anxiety in these trying times that we're living in.
Mark, I was fortunate enough to get to see that. And I have to tell you, I'm very open in saying that I have absolutely jumped on the meditation bandwagon. Never in a million years would I have thought of doing something like that. But that is just another asset that Peloton offers us. And certainly, as you say, in these trying times, being able to just take time for yourself, whether it be 5, 10, 15 minutes, or even half an hour to do meditation. And I think what Aditi shared on the Today Show just gave folks, again, that platform to know that it's so acceptable and so wonderful, and what an amazing, an additional option that folks have with the Peloton app.
So that's the end of the news segment.
Do you want to get the most from your Peloton? It's time for our weekly Pelo tip.
So now it's time for Pelo tips, and this episode we've got a good friend of mine, Dave Webster, who's going to explain to us how to adjust the pedals for you to get on and off the bike.
Hello. I keep hearing a lot of people saying that they can't get their shoes out of the cleats. This is the problem. You're looking for this screw here. Now this screw, you see, has got plus and minus on it. If you tighten that up using the Allen key that's provided with the bike. You can tighten it and tighten it. Till it stops. You will have a huge amount of trouble getting that pedal out. It takes a lot of effort, and you'll have a lot of trouble getting it back in as well. So take an Allen key and loosen that until you find a place that you're happy with. I'll just try it there and see if we can get the shoe in the cleat. There we go, it's gone in. Okay. Now when I try and take that out, if you can imagine that being the right way with your foot in it, you can see it comes out quite easily. If it's not easy enough, just unscrew that a little bit more. Take care, because it does make a difference to how firmly your feet are locked into the pedal. But you can play around with that adjustment and it'll help you get your feet out, get your feet in, especially when you're new to the bike. After you've got some experience of how to get your feet in and out, you can tighten that a bit. It'll be better for your riding. But until then, it'll make it easier for you. I hope that helps. Cheers, bye.
Let's get to know another person behind the leaderboard name in Pelo Chats.
I'm really excited to welcome this week fellow Pelo rider Anne Dragovcic. Oh, Anne, I hope I didn't butcher that. Are you there?
I'm here. It was good. It sounds so much prettier, your accent, than mine.
You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Well, we were absolutely thrilled that you agreed to chat to us today. We know you have been part of this Peloton community for some time, and I look forward to hearing a little bit more about what you've done in the community. But you know what? I just want to thank you. I know you've just jumped off a ride, and for you to be so willing to get right into this interview today has been fantastic. So thank you so much for doing that. Whose ride did you do?
Oh, I got off Sam's 90s ride, and it was so much fun. I just sang every song, and I still know all the words to Gotta Make You Sweat by CNC Music Factory.
Isn't it unbelievable how we get so caught in the moment of the ride that we're in, and the music does. I mean, I think one of the instructors, I can't remember who just said it recently, but they said, you know, it's made up of music, and we just completely get lost in the music. And it certainly does add to the experience. Absolutely. Well, again, we wanted to welcome you. What I hope to do in our Pelo chat today is learn a little bit more about somebody new in the community. So what we've tried to do is reach out to folks here in the US, folks in the UK. When I brush up on my German, we may even get a German Pelo rider on. But it's always lovely to have somebody new in the community to tell us how they found the bike and how they got involved in the community. So Anne, I'm going to give the floor over to you and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, wow. So it's a milestone year in this crazy 2020. I just turned 50.
Well, you and I have something in common. I turned 50 last year, and I have to tell you, I have never felt fitter and happier and healthier. So hopefully you'll get just the same out of it.
I'm on my way. I'm a former spin instructor. I taught all group extra classes. I taught for almost 20 years. I retired in, I think 2015. And I had some injuries and all that. So not being able to work out at home as well as I wanted to, and trying to balance the gym and yoga and being home and having a child. 2 years ago, I just hit my 2-year anniversary last month. I invested in the Peloton, and I wasn't going to get it. I was like, there's renovations to do. It's too much money. I don't, maybe some other time. And my mom, who always said things at the right time, she's like, will you ride it? I said, of course I'll ride it. And here I am. 2 years later, I just hit 1,200 rides yesterday.
Oh my word, congratulations.
Thank you. It was on Hannah's.
That is insane.
It's an addiction. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. And I'd say my biggest regret was waiting 2 years to buy it. And we celebrated yesterday on on Hannah's Sean Paul ride, and it was so much fun. And it's all about the music and the community feeling and just hanging out with friends on the leaderboard. It's just, I love the feeling that you get. So when we went to ride the bike, I was like, oh, I don't need the subscription, right? I know how to ride a bike. And the girl said, no, you just get a blank screen and whatever. So I'm like, all right. So I tried it out, and I can't believe I ever considered not being a part of it. And if you would have told me, I would have fell into a brand new family and fell into this amazing, positive, kind, uplifting community, I probably wouldn't have believed you. So it's had a great impact on my life, and definitely being more physically fit than I was. So that's all good.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, you've kind of answered all the questions that I was going to ask you, in that you, in that really it is a community. And what we've discovered is some of these folks have become our closest and dearest friends.
Yes.
And it's wonderful to be able to, to be able to have this community that we can lead into, that we can lead part of our life. But you have a story, and tell us a little bit about your story. My understanding is that you are a breast cancer survivor. Now, where in the journey did that fall in?
My breast cancer story predates owning the Peloton. I was at home working out, and I just felt something after doing a plank and a push-up, and it was something sore in my chest, but blocking the soreness. And unfortunately, long story short, it happened to be a cancer tumor. I was 42 at the time, and that was just shy of my 43rd birthday, and it was just after my daughter's 7th birthday. I got very lucky in finding it early. I had surgery, then I went through chemo, and then I did the rest of the reconstruction. And although that completed in 2013, there's a lot that comes after it. And I've had a lot of complications physically, where I haven't really been able to ever get back to my pre-cancerous fitness level. So it's been a mental struggle.
I can only imagine for someone that has been so, had been, as you'd said, your life was fitness and being an instructor and being in the world of fitness.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how mentally this must have been so hard for you to be able to obviously have stopped, working out for a period of time, and then to slowly get back into it and build that strength back up, right?
It is. And you really learn that anything can change in a day, and that you have to really learn how to be patient. And that's one of I learned these 3 Ps from, the whole journey, mostly through chemo, but it's patience, persistence, and perseverance. Because, I had my daughter, and I was thinking about her, and I was like, wait, not till I'm ready. Like, nothing's happening until I'm ready. And I did everything I could. I stayed active. I taught when I could, I worked out when I could, and my sanctuary was yoga. I was a hot yoga participant for years, and I have loved yoga for about 20 years at this point, maybe even longer, and it really became my sanctuary. So I was able to recover while still doing things and not totally have to sit on the weight line, sidelines until I was cleared. So the 6 to 8 weeks after every surgery, you do weight, and it passes quicker than you think, but you really learn to be patient. And all those 3 Ps, I try to put with my workouts and how I progress forward and how things are with the bike and every other physical activity I've tried to do in the last 7 years. It's not always there.
So, Anne, it's my understanding that you've been very involved in the Swexy Swarm community. I'm always curious to know how different folks get involved in different communities. That's not one that I've ever really been a part of. And I understand that it has a really massive following. So tell me a little bit about how that was kind of where you steered towards.
Some communities are a little... I'm losing the words, but not nice and unkind and snarky. And there was some massive changes at the time. I believe that the instructors were pulled out of all their groups. And Christopher had a post, and I don't even know how I saw it because it was in the main Peloton group, and I thought I had muted it. and it was Halloween, and he was like, hey, let's create this kind community and where everyone belongs and you can be yourself, and we're just going to look for this great feeling of moving forward together. So I was like, I'm all about that. I'm joining. I joined. It was maybe like 300 people within the first 24 hours. And I love Christopher's energy, and I love his poses and the way we just had fun. We could sit there and chat, and we just chatted all night. And I think I was in the group for a couple of months, and he approached me to say, hey, would you like to be an admin? I was very active in the group because I just really loved the vibes, and I called us the Good Vibe Tribe. And it was just really fun to watch people succeed. And, you know, given my background as a coach and a trainer, it's really one of the things I love. I got into fitness to get paid, but the first person that said, hey, you know, I've lost 5 pounds, I feel better, I walk up the stairs, you know, watching people succeed is such a, and then, you know, it's so good. It's a feel-good thing. It makes you want to just watch everybody succeed more, and it makes you want to progress with them.
Absolutely, 100% agree. That's amazing. Well, I'm definitely going to look into joining, because I'm all about the positive energy that this has given me. And I'm not sure if you've watched any of the shows, but I have always been somebody that has only wanted to inspire others, and I love what I've done in my own journey in Peloton, in, you know, creating a community of people that were acquaintances and that I knew, you know, from around where I lived or whatever, that saw my passion towards Peloton and how it changed my life. And, you know, we spoke about us both turning 50. Last year, I was probably at the heaviest I had ever been in my life. And I decided I was not going into my 50s being fat and unhealthy. And thanks to Peloton and the community, it's kept me accountable. So I get it. I get what you're saying. And it's fantastic that there are these parts of the Peloton family where you can just kind of really get in, and they actually do become family. Interestingly enough, I became really connected with the UK crowd. I travel to London often for work, and I've been fortunate enough to ride in studio. So I've ridden with Sam, and it's been fantastic. And Leanne and Ben. The only one I haven't ridden with is Hannah. So I'm looking forward to the new studio opening up and heading back to London to ride with her. But you're right. I get it. It makes such a difference when you find something that just works and makes, you know, jumping on the bike and riding with people that you love even more fun. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. So
we would love to have you. Please join us as soon as possible.
You tell Christopher that he better make sure that he accepts me. I'm going to be very much a part of the Swexy swarm now that I've got it right.
I'm on it. You got it.
Excellent. I love that, Anne. Thank you. So, Anne, we're going to go ahead and finish off with asking you just some fun questions. I've created a section in our Pelo Chats that's called 60 Seconds Descent and Recovery. I'm going to fire away a couple questions at you and just have fun answering them, as honest as you can. Everything to do with Peloton. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Bike or tread?
Bike.
Favorite instructor?
Just King.
High cadence or high resistance?
High cadence, 100% of the time.
Early bird rider or night owl?
Mid-afternoon, neither.
Meditation or strength training?
Meditation.
Live or on-demand classes?
Live if possible.
First class ever taken?
I took a live DJ class with Allie Love on demand, and I found out later on she only done a couple of them. So it was a great introduction, and I absolutely adore John Michael.
That's amazing. Craziest leaderboard name you've ever seen?
Of course, I'm drawing a blank, but it was definitely like my crotch hurts.
Well, excellent, Anne. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's interesting, though, that you had said a lot of people are lunchtime riders. So I think I may have to start changing that question.
Well,
more and more
we actually
lunchtime.
ride every day at 12:30. So we call it the Swexy Nooners because, you know, Who doesn't love a nooner?
Absolutely.
And today there was, a milestone party on the bike, and it's just a lot of fun, and it really keeps you accountable. It's fun, and we chat before and after. It really builds relationships in the community. It's fantastic.
That's amazing. Well, I've certainly noticed since working from home, and one can adjust your schedule. So since I've been working from home, I start much earlier in the morning and will take my lunch hour and possibly do a ride. And if there's a live ride, I want to jump on. So, yep, maybe I'll become a Swexy nooner too.
Yay!
To ride with you.
That'd be fantastic.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So the most important question for you is tell our viewers and listeners, what's your leaderboard name?
My leaderboard name is Fearless Vixen.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. Well, I can assure you, you are going to have a bunch of new followers after this interview. So make sure that you accept everybody, and you'll definitely have me. So look out for Siglo 3, as I will be looking forward to riding with you. And it was an absolute pleasure having you on the show. And I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Cheers from New York.
Take care. Bye now.
It's time to celebrate our fans' milestones with Pelo Shouts.
Come on, Sinker, you got this today.
Marco 77, 500 rides today. I see you.
Yes, Propello. We're rocking our leads in UK with 50 runs today.
Aussie Benny 76, 200. Not a regular mom. Happy 250. Nina 88, let's get ready, second increase.
Did you hit a milestone this week and get a shout out by your favorite instructor? Don't forget to let us know.
And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Next week, we'll for sure have coverage on Peloton's earning call. And Mark?
And maybe we'll get an official announcement regarding the new tread, the new bike, assuming that it happens, Amanda, in the forthcoming week.
I think we're going to have an exciting episode next week for sure. Definitely tune in, folks. That's all 100%. For us. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your unofficial resource for everything Peloton. By the community, for the community. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.